But that's the idea of this. And actually that's the things that we started to see at the beginning of the year before the web shells were being dropped. So we were seeing evidence of these attacks coming through this HTTP endpoint to metadata uploader, where the chain was being deserialized and executed, and some sort of remote code execution was being run. Now, how do you
Wow.
stop that through a web application firewall?
Yeah.
Because it looks like a legitimate request.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really fascinating. I keep telling myself that, like, once I'm done with my PhD, I'm just going to like go be a security researcher somewhere. Like, cause
Come
I
join
find it
us.
so fascinating. Yeah. Like it's so fascinating. And I want to go more offensive threat intel side. That's like the area, that's probably the one area that I haven't necessarily touched, but I think I would be really good at it. So that's just, yeah.
Offensive in terms of like pen testing and those types of things?
I wouldn't say necessarily pen testing. And don't get me wrong, I want to get my OSCP and the OSCE more of out of my own extreme curiosity and need to not be comfortable, I guess. I want to get those. The security researchers side overall, I feel like pulls a lot from pen testing to some degree. Right. And so I feel like that's a good like foundational skill for that side.
Our pen testing is different than the traditional pen testing, right? We're not coming in and testing perimeters. We're not testing firewalls. We focus on coming into an environment and testing SAP. So we do black box testing for customers. And I love being able to do that because it challenges customer perceptions, right? So they may think that they have a level of security, and then we come in and we show that that's not the case. So our researchers not only work with SAP and understand what the vulnerabilities are, and then so when I say work with SAP, we have SAP applications, right? That we test, that we work with. And then once we find those vulnerabilities, we go ahead and report them. We also go into environments where we test actual SAP installations at customer premise. And that's not only a way for us to help them understand their environment and help them to gain additional security, but it's also a path for us to understand how SAP is being used that gives us insight to further our own research. So offensive security to me also means from prior experiences where I set up and ran counterintelligence operations, where I engaged threat actors. So I did this at various, if you looked at my LinkedIn profile, you can kind of get an understanding of
Yeah.
where that might have happened. But yeah, I mean, I've been involved in engaging threat actors and getting them arrested, working with law enforcement and working through legal channels to do botnet takedowns, to get threat actors arrested. I had a case where I investigated one of the biggest spam attacks at one company that I was at and identified who the threat actors were, passed that information over to law enforcement. We identified that person was landing in a country that was kind of like a partner to the United States. So once that person landed, we were able to get that person arrested.
Nice. Wow. Well, Paul, we're definitely at the top of our time, unfortunately, but I definitely want to bring you back on and talk about some of that other stuff, that you were doing. It's some pretty cool, interesting stuff. I think you might have some good stories to talk about, but
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time.
Absolutely. My pleasure. I mean, it sounds like we can have a lot to discuss, whether it's all that other stuff or whether it's advice for people trying to get in. I would love to be able to join back on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely figure it out. But before I let you go, how about you tell my audience where they could find you if they wanted to connect with you, and where they could find Onapsis if they wanted to learn more about your company and your solution.
Absolutely. So for my company, you can go to onapsis.com, and at onapsis.com, you can look at the navigation. You can find us under the Onapsis Research Labs. There's information in there that we put up. We put up blog posts. We put up threat reports. We have webinars. We've had a lot of webinars and reports about 31324. So if you actually do a Google search for Onapsis and 2025 31324, you'll see our main go-to article over this 0-day. SAP has actually thanked us in their patch month release notes for working with them intimately about this 0-day. So that's been 31324 has been a fantastic journey. For me personally, You can probably reach me out on LinkedIn. So if you do a search, you'll see me on LinkedIn. Feel free to send me an invite. I'd be more than willing to connect with you, no matter over what topic you want to discuss, whether it's SAP security, whether it's offensive security, whether it's security or IT or how to get into this. I'm more than willing to help out.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode.